Good morning everyone. Today we will study about the bioavailability and bioequivalence. So, definition of the bioavailability is that the rate and extent of absorption of unchanged drug from its dosage form. It is an absolute term. The rate or rapidity with which a drug is absorbed is an important consideration when rapid onset of action is desired, as in the treatment of acute conditions such as asthma attack, pain. A slow absorption rate is desired to prolong the duration of action and to avoid the adverse effect. The extent of the absorption is of special significance in the treatment of chronic conditions like hypertension, epilepsy. If the size of the dose to be administered is same, then the bioavailability of drug from its dosage form depend upon the three major factors. First is the pharmaceutical factor. It is related to the physicochemical properties of the drug and characteristics of the dosage form. Second is the patient related factor. Third is the route of administration. So this is the order of route of administration according to the bioavailability is first is the parenteral, second is the oral, then third is rectal, and fourth is the topical. The dose available to the patient is said to be as bioavailable dose. It is often less than that of the administered dose. The amount of drug that reaches the systemic circulation is said to be as systemic availability or simply availability. Bioavailable fraction is referred to the fraction of administered drug dose that enters the systemic circulation, and it is denoted by the symbol F. So F equal to bioavailable dose upon the administered dose. Next is the objective of bioavailability studies. First, primary stage of development of a suitable dosage form for a new drug entity to obtain evidence of its therapeutic utility. Second, determination of influence of excipients, patient related factors, and possible interaction with other drugs on the efficiency of absorption. Third, development of new formulation of the existing drugs. Fourth, control of quality of a drug product during the early stage of marketing in order to determine the influence of processing factors, storage, stability on drug absorption. Fifth is the comparison of bioavailability of a drug substance from different doses forms or from the same dosage form produced by different manufacturers. So next is the difference between the absolute and the relative bioavailability. So the absolute bioavailability, it is denoted by the symbol F, whereas the relative is denoted by the FR. So, when the systemic availability of a drug administered orally is determined in comparison to its intravenous administration is said to be as absolute bioavailability. It is used to categorize a drug's inherent absorption properties from the extravascular site. Intravenous dose is selected as a standard, and in some of the cases the intramuscular can also be taken as standard if the drug is poorly water soluble. An oral solution is taken as the reference standard. Then when the systemic availability of a drug after oral administration is compared with that of an oral standard of the same drug, then it is said to be as relative or comparative bioavailability, as it is used to categorize absorption of a drug from its formulation, as the symbol F and FR are generally expressed in the percentage, means absolute and the relative bioavailability are expressed in percentage. Next, So the next is the measurement of bioavailability. It is categorized into the two. First is the pharmacokinetic, second is the pharmacodynamic methods. First in that pharmacokinetic method, it is widely used. It is based on the assumption that the pharmacokinetic profile reflects the therapeutic effectiveness of a drug. Thus, these are the indirect methods, and it is having the two major methods. First is the plasma level time studies, and second is the urinary excretion studies. Second, pharmacodynamic methods. It is indirect. It involves indirect measurement of a drug effect on a pathophysiological process as a function of time, and it includes the two methods. First is the acute pharmacological response, second is the therapeutic response. Plasma level time studies. It is the most reliable method and method of choice in comparison to urine data. Based on the assumption that the two dosage forms that exhibit superimposable plasma level time profiles in a group of subjects should result in identical therapeutic activity. The three parameters of plasma level time studies which are considered important for determining the bioavailability are: first is the Cmax, the peak plasma concentration that gives an indication whether the drug is sufficiently absorbed systemically to provide a therapeutic response. It is a function of both the rate and extent of absorption. Cmax will increase with increase in the dose as well as increase in the absorption rate. Tmax, it is the peak time. It gives an indication of the rate of absorption. It decreases the rate of absorption. It decreases, okay, the Tmax is decreases as the rate of absorption increases. Third is the AUC. It is the area under the plasma level time curve. It gives a measure of the extent of absorption or the amount of the drug that reaches the systemic circulation. Next is the extent of bioavailability can be determined by the following equation. First is the F equal to, in the bracket, AUC oral bracket close D IV upon AUC IV D bracket close D oral. Here I think the formula written is wrong, so correct it. The next equation is FR, okay, not F. FR equal to AUC in the bracket test bracket close D, that is standard, upon in the bracket AUC standard bracket close D standard. The bioavailability can also be determined from the peak plasma concentration at steady state, that is CSS max, according to the following equation. FR equal to, in the bracket, CSS max test bracket close D standard T test upon, in the bracket, CSS max standard bracket close D test T standard. The rate of absorption is not important in the multiple dosing methods. Next is the urinary excretion study. In this, it is based on the principle that the urinary excretion of unchanged drug is directly proportional to the plasma concentration of drug. The study is particularly useful for drugs extensively excreted unchanged in the urine, for example, thiazide diuretics and sulfonamides. Drugs that have urine as the site of action, for example, urinary antiseptics such as nitrofurantoin and hexamine. It also includes the three major parameters which are examined in the urinary excretion data obtained with a single dose study are: first is the dxu by dt, bracket close max, second is the tu max, and third is the xu. It is these all the parameters are similar to that of the plasma studies, plasma level studies. It is the method of pharmacodynamic, that is acute pharmacological response method. When bioavailability measurement by pharmacokinetic methods is difficult, inaccurate, or non-reproducible, and acute pharmacological effects such as change in the ECG or EEG readings, pupil diameter, etc., is related to the time course of a given drug. The bioavailability can then be determined by construction of pharmacological effect time curve as well as dose response graph. The method required the method requires measurement of response for at least 3 biological half-lives of the drug in order to obtain a good estimate of AUC. Some of the disadvantage of this method is, first is the pharmacological response tend to be more variable, and accurate correlation between measured response and the drug available for the formulation is difficult. Second, the observed response may be due to an acute metabolite whose concentration is not proportional to the concentration of parent drug responsible for the pharmacological effect. And the last method in the pharmacodynamic is the therapeutic response method. It is based on observing the clinical response to a drug formulation given to patients suffering from diseases for which it is intended to be used. Some of the drawbacks of it, first is the quantitation of observed response is too improper to allow for reasonable assessment of relative bioavailability between two dosage forms of the same drug. Second, bioequivalence studies are usually conducted using a crossover design in which each subject receives each of the test dosage form, and it is assumed that the physiological status of the subject does not change significantly over the duration of the study. Third, unless multiple dose protocols are employed, a patient who required the drug for a disease would be able to receive only a single dose of the drug every few days or perhaps each week. Fourth, many patients receive more than one drug, and the result obtained from a bioavailability study could be compromised because of a drug-drug interaction. Thank you.